You wake up. You decide today is going to be different. You decide today you're going to be focused. You're going to be calm. You're going to be the person you've been promising yourself you would be for the last 5 years. You have the plan. You have the vision. You step out the door, and then reality punches you in the mouth. Maybe it's the car that doesn't start. Maybe it's the traffic that makes you late for the one meeting you couldn't miss. Maybe it's the text message from your partner. 3 words that send your stomach into your throat. We need to talk. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe it's just a look. A glance from a stranger that feels dismissive. A tone of voice from your boss that suggests you're incompetent. And watch what happens to you. Watch how fast that new you dissolves. Watch how quickly the stoic philosopher vanishes, replaced by a frightened, reactive child. Your heart rate spikes. Your cortisol floods your system. You start spiraling. You start rehearsing arguments in the shower. You start typing out paragraphs of defense in your notes app that you'll never send. You get angry. You get resentful. You look up at the sky and you think, why? Why now? Why does this always happen when I'm trying to get better? You think it's bad luck. You think the universe is conspiring against you. You think you are the victim of a chaotic, uncaring world that just wants to ruin your morning. Wrong. It is a conspiracy, but it's not trying to ruin you. It's trying to measure you. You are being tested. And I don't mean tested in the academic sense. I don't mean a Scantron sheet where you fill in the bubbles. I mean you are being pressure tested, like a submarine hull before it's sent to the bottom of the ocean. The universe, call it God, call it the simulation, call it the collective unconscious of the people around you, needs to know one thing. Are you solid or are you hollow? This is the uncomfortable truth about your reality. You walk around telling people who you are. You tell them you're confident. You tell them you're a leader. You tell them you're unbothered. You broadcast this signal to the world. I am a high-value individual with a strong frame. And the world says, okay, let's see. So it sends the test. It sends the disrespect. It sends the chaos. It sends the person who interrupts you while you're speaking. It sends the silence after you tell a joke. It sends the sudden withdrawal of affection from someone you love. These aren't accidents. These are audits. Every time you feel that tightness in your chest, that specific, hot flush of anxiety when things don't go your way, that is the test initiating. And right now, you are failing. You are failing because you think the goal is to make the test stop. You think the goal is to fix the problem, to smooth things over, to get the validation back so you can feel safe again. You rush to explain yourself. You rush to apologize. You rush to fix the mood. Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry, I'm just stressed. Please, just listen to me. Stop. Look at yourself. You are dancing. You are performing. You are frantically trying to rearrange the external world because your internal world has collapsed. You have no frame. You have no center. You are a leaf in the wind, and the moment the wind blows, even a gentle breeze of disapproval, you are halfway down the street. This is why you feel exhausted. You feel exhausted because you are constantly managing the emotional climate of everyone around you. You are hypervigilant. You are scanning the room for threats to your ego. A raised eyebrow? Panic. A delayed text response? Panic. A passive-aggressive comment? Catastrophe. You are living in a defensive crouch, and the world knows it. Here is the dark mechanism at play. Reality despises a vacuum. If you do not have a strong reality of your own, a strong frame, reality will impose one on you. People with stronger frames will impose their will on you, not because they are evil, but because they are testing the structural integrity of your soul, and they found a crack. When you crumble under a small insult, You are signaling to God, to the observing universe, that you cannot handle power. You cannot handle responsibility. If you fall apart because a barista was rude to you, how can you be trusted with a legacy? If you lose your mind because your girlfriend didn't say, "I love you" back fast enough, how can you be trusted with a family? You can't. So the tests keep coming. They keep coming, and they keep getting harder, and they will keep repeating the same painful loops in your life until you stop reacting and start observing. You think you're fighting the world. You're not. You're fighting your own addiction to comfort. The test is simple. It asks one question. Does your internal state depend on external validation? As long as the answer is yes, you will be a puppet. The strings are attached to your ego, and everyone you meet, every narcissist, every manipulator, every chaotic element, can see the strings, and they will pull them, not to hurt you, but to see if you dance. And you always dance. You're going to stop dancing. We are going to look at the specific, subtle, and often invisible ways this test manifests in your daily interactions. We are going to look at how people check your frame without saying a word. We are going to look at the silence, the flake, the challenge, and the withdrawal. But first, you have to accept the premise. The pain you feel isn't persecution. It's gravity. It's the weight of the world testing your spine. If you're bent over, if you're crushed by it, it's not because gravity is too strong. It's because your back is too weak. Let's strengthen the back. You sit down at a dinner table. It's a group of friends, maybe colleagues, maybe family. You're feeling good. You start to tell a story. You're animated. You're engaged. And then, mid-sentence, someone cuts across you. They don't shout. They don't say shut up. They just start talking about something else. Oh, did you see the game last night? And the table turns. The eyes that were on you drift away. The energy shifts to the interrupter. Watch what you do. You stop talking. You don't hold the floor. You don't say, "Hold on, let me finish." You don't even keep eye contact. You look down at your plate. You take a sip of your drink. You smile, that tight, polite smile, the smile of the defeated. You retreat. You make yourself smaller to accommodate their expansion. You think you're being polite. You think you're being easygoing. Wrong. You just failed a frame check. The universe just asked, "Is your voice worth hearing?" And you answered, "No." Cut to Tuesday. You have a plan with someone. A date, a friend, a business partner. You cleared your schedule. You said no to other things because you value your word. You value your time. 30 minutes before the meeting, your phone buzzes. "Hey, running super behind. Can we push to 8? Or maybe, "Hey, something came up. Can we do tomorrow?" No apology. No specific reason. Just a casual restructuring of your reality. Watch your fingers. Watch them fly across the screen. No worries. Totally fine. Whenever works for you. You hit send. You feel a flash of irritation, but you shove it down. You tell yourself you're being flexible. You tell yourself you're chill. But look at what really happened. You had a frame. "We meet at 6. They introduced a counterframe. "My chaos is more important than your schedule." And you folded. You didn't say, "I can't do 8. Let's reschedule for next week when things are calmer." You accepted their chaos into your order. You signaled that your time is an abundant resource with zero value, available for them to waste whenever they feel disorganized. Cut to the weekend. You're in a relationship. Things are calm. You're relaxed. And then, out of nowhere, they sigh. It's heavy. It's loud. It's the sigh of someone carrying the weight of the world. Or maybe they make a cryptic comment. "I just don't know if this is going anywhere. I feel like you don't even see me." Your stomach drops. The peace is shattered. Do you stay in your frame? Do you stay calm and ask, "What do you mean by that?" No. You panic. You abandon your emotional stability to go rescue theirs. What's wrong? Did I do something? Tell me how to fix it. You become the therapist. You become the servant. You spend the next 3 hours circling the drain of their mood, trying to lift them up, trying to solve a problem they don't actually want solved. You pour your energy into a black hole. They just checked your frame. They checked to see if they could destabilize you with a single sentence. And they could. They found the button. They pressed it. And you danced. Cut to the text message. You send something vulnerable. Maybe a joke. Maybe an invite. Maybe just a thought. And silence. 10 minutes. An hour. 3 hours. You see them online. You see them posting. You know they saw it. The silence grows. It starts to feel heavy. It starts to feel like a judgment. Watch the spiral. Did I sound desperate? Maybe that wasn't funny. Are they mad? You stare at the phone. You type. You delete. You type. You delete. Finally, you send the double text. Just kidding. Or we can do whatever. Let me know. You fill the silence because you cannot tolerate the tension. You interpret their lack of response as a rejection of your existence, rather than just a pause in communication. These aren't random events. This is the pattern, the interruption, the flake, the mood swing, the silence. They are all the same thing. They are microaggressions against your reality. They are subtle, almost invisible probes sent out by the people around you. How solid is this person? How much can I get away with? Do they respect themselves? And every time you accommodate, every time you apologize for existing, every time you shrink to fit their comfort zone, you are teaching them exactly how to treat you. You are handing them the manual to your own destruction. You think, but I'm just being nice. I'm just being a good person. And that is the most dangerous lie of all. Because there is nothing nice about having no boundaries. There is nothing good about being a doormat. You are seeing the pattern now. You are seeing the moments where you gave away your power for free. And it hurts. It should hurt. That pain is the only thing that's going to make you change. Because the person who interrupts you doesn't respect you. The person who constantly reschedules doesn't value you. The person who uses silence as a weapon doesn't care about your anxiety. And why should they? You don't respect yourself. You don't value your time. You don't protect your peace. You have shown them, over and over again, that you are hollow. And until you fill that hollow space with iron, the tests will never stop. They will only get harder. You tell yourself a story. It's a beautiful, tragic story where you are the hero. The story goes like this. I am the one who keeps the peace. I am the one who is understanding. I am the one who swallows my pride to make things work. I am the bigger person. You wear your niceness like a badge of honor. You think your ability to tolerate disrespect is a superpower. You think your endless patience is a sign of deep spiritual maturity. Let me rip that badge off your chest. You are not being nice. You are being compliant. You are not keeping the peace. You are avoiding conflict because conflict terrifies you. You are not the bigger person. You are the smaller person, shrinking yourself until you fit into whatever tiny box they have assigned you. Let's look at the mechanics of your kindness. You're in an argument. You actually have a point. They hurt you. You have the evidence. You have the right to be angry. You start to lay it out. You start to draw a boundary. And then they raise their voice. Or they go cold. Or they threaten, subtly, to leave, to end the conversation, to withdraw their love. Watch the collapse. It happens in a split second. Your brain calculates the risk. If I stand my ground, I lose the connection. If I fold, I keep the connection. And you fold. Every single time. You pivot. You soften your tone. You start backpedaling. I didn't mean it like that. I'm not trying to fight. I know you're stressed. You end up apologizing to them for the way they hurt you. Read that again. You are apologizing for your own pain. You are smoothing over the cracks in the relationship with pieces of your own dignity. You are buying their presence with your self-respect. This isn't virtue. This is a hostage negotiation. And you are the hostage. You have confused harmlessness with goodness. You think because you don't bite, you are a moral person. But a rabbit isn't moral because it doesn't eat the wolf. A rabbit is just food. Jordan Peterson said it best. A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control. You are not dangerous. You have no teeth. When the test comes, when the universe checks your frame, you don't have the option to bite back. You only have the option to roll over and show your belly. And here is the darkest part. The part you really don't want to admit. Your niceness is a manipulation tactic. You have a secret contract in your head. A covert contract that you signed with the world, but the world never signed back. The contract says, if I am perfect, if I never complain, if I anticipate your every need, if I am always available, then you must love me. You must never leave me. You must treat me well. You are trying to guilt-trip the universe into giving you what you want. You are trying to purchase loyalty with submission. And when it doesn't work, when the person you did everything for treats you like garbage, you feel a rage so deep it scares you. After everything I did, how could they? I gave them everything. Yes, you gave them everything. And that is exactly why they have no respect for you. Because things that are free have no value. Because people do not respect what they can walk all over. Because if you treat yourself like a doormat, you cannot be surprised when people wipe their muddy boots on you. This is the collapse of the nice guy. It is the moment you realize that your entire strategy for survival, if I am small, I will be safe, is a lie. Being small doesn't make you safe. It makes you a target. It makes you a magnet for people who need someone to control. The narcissist loves your niceness. The user loves your patience. The chaotic person loves your stability. They look at you, and they see a resource to be mined. They see a battery they can drain. And the universe watches this. God watches this. And the test result comes back. Failure. Why? Because you cannot hold a frame if you are constantly shape-shifting to please others. You cannot lead if you are terrified of disagreement. You cannot be a partner if you are a fan. You think you are being selfless, but in reality, you are being self-abandoning. There is a massive difference. Selflessness is, I am strong enough to help you. Self-abandonment is, I am too weak to exist without your approval. You are currently operating in self-abandonment. You are failing the test of character because you refuse to be a character in your own story. You are an extra. You are a background NPC trying not to glitch the main character's game. And until you are willing to risk the relationship to save yourself, you will never have either. You have heard the word frame. You have seen it thrown around in psychology videos and self-help forums. You think it means confidence. You think it means posture. You think it means staring someone down until they blink. Wrong. Frame is not a behavior. Frame is a gravitational field. Frame is the subconscious, nonverbal acceptance of whose reality we are currently living in. Every time two human beings interact, a negotiation takes place. It happens in milliseconds. It happens before a single word is spoken. Person A brings their reality. I am important. My time is valuable. I am here to assess if you are worth my energy. Person B brings their reality. I hope they like me. I hope I don't mess this up. I am lucky to be here. Boom. Collision. And the laws of physics apply here just as they do in space. The larger mass absorbs the smaller mass. The stronger reality swallows the weaker reality. If person A has the stronger frame, person B instantly falls into their orbit. Person B starts laughing too hard at person A's jokes. Person B starts agreeing with opinions they don't actually hold. Person B starts apologizing for things that aren't their fault. Person B has been framed. They have been sucked into the other person's version of the world. In that world, person A is the prize, and person B is the auditioner. And here is the terrifying part. You are almost always person B. The test, the one God, the universe, and every person you meet is giving you, is a test of gravity. Do you have enough mass to hold your own orbit? Or are you just space debris waiting to be caught in someone else's pull? Let's look at the mechanics. The core mechanism of frame control is reaction. The person who is reacting is the person who is losing. The person who is causing the reaction is the person who is in control. Think about it. When you get angry because they didn't text back, who is controlling your emotional state? Them. When you feel a rush of dopamine because they gave you a compliment, who is holding the keys to your happiness? Them. When you scramble to explain yourself because they gave you a weird look, who is the judge and who is the defendant? You are the defendant. They are the judge. This is why over-explaining is the ultimate frame killer. I didn't mean to be late. It's just that the traffic was crazy and my alarm didn't go off, and I really respect your time. Stop. You are vomiting words. You are pleading your case. You are subconsciously screaming. Please accept my excuse so I can feel okay again. A person with frame doesn't explain. They state, I'm late. Traffic was bad. Let's get started. Do you feel the difference? The first one is a plea for forgiveness. The second one is a statement of fact. The first one places the other person in the position of authority. They have the power to absolve you or condemn you. The second one assumes that you are the authority of your own life, and reality is just what happened. This is what the God test is really about. It's about sovereignty. The universe rewards sovereignty. People are biologically wired to respect sovereignty. When someone is unshakable, when they don't react to insults, when they don't chase validation, when they don't crumble under pressure, we instinctively view them as high value. We view them as leaders. We view them as the prize. Why? Because they are rare. Most people are leaves in the wind. They have no internal ballast. They are terrified of disapproval. So when they meet someone who doesn't care, someone who is amused by the chaos rather than destroyed by it, they are mesmerized. They want to be in that person's frame. They want to be safe in that person's reality. But you are offering a reality that is leaking. Your frame has holes in it. You let everyone in. You let their bad moods become your bad moods. You let their criticism become your self-image. You are porous. And because you are porous, you are easily manipulated. The manipulator knows that all they have to do is frown, and you will dance. The narcissist knows that all they have to do is withdraw, and you will chase. The chaotic partner knows that all they have to do is scream, and you will crumble. They are hacking your frame. They are exploiting the fact that your reality is not solid. So, the intervention is this. You must stop renting space in other people's heads and start building a fortress in your own. You need to understand that your perception of reality is just as valid, just as strong, and just as important as anyone else's. If they think you're boring, that's their reality. In your reality, you are selective. If they think you're selfish, that's their reality. In your reality, you are self-protective. If they think you're too much, that's their reality. In your reality, they are not enough. Frame is not about being right. It's about being certain. And right now, you are uncertain. You are looking for permission to exist. You are looking for a stamp of approval from the world. And the world will never give it to you. The world will only test you to see if you can give it to yourself. You look at the person who treats you like an option. You look at the boss who underpays you. You look at the friend who only calls when they need something. And you ask yourself the million-dollar question. Why do I stay? Why do I tolerate this? You tell yourself it's because you're loyal. You tell yourself it's because you see the potential in them. You tell yourself it's because you don't want to give up on people. Lie, lie, lie. You stay because you are an addict. And your drug of choice is validation. You are not operating out of love. You are operating out of a desperate, clawing hunger for someone outside of you to tell you that you are good. Let's dissect this pathology. Somewhere along the line, maybe it was a parent who was only happy when you brought home maybe it was a chaotic household where being quiet and good was the only way to avoid the screaming. You learned a fatal lesson. You learned that love is conditional. You learned that safety is earned. You learned that if you perform well enough, if you sacrifice enough, if you suppress your own needs enough, you will be rewarded with the golden ticket, approval. So you built your entire personality around this transaction. And it is a transaction. This is the shadow side of your niceness that we need to confront. You are not giving freely. You are loan sharking. Every time you listen to their problems for 3 hours when you're exhausted, you are racking up a debt. Every time you say it's fine, when it's not fine, you are adding to the tab. Every time you drop everything to help them move, or fix their car, or edit their resume, you are making a deposit. And you expect a return on investment. You expect them to say, wow, you are so amazing. You are so selfless. I love you so much. And when they don't, when they just say thanks and go back to their phone, or worse, when they don't even notice, you don't just feel disappointed. You feel robbed. You feel a dark, seething resentment bubbling up in your gut. After all I did for you, that resentment is the proof. It is the proof that your kindness was a currency and the market just crashed. This addiction to validation is why you fail every single frame test. Because if you need their approval to feel okay, you cannot risk offending them. If you need their validation to feel worthy, you cannot set a boundary. If you need them to see you as the good guy, you cannot be honest. You are walking around with a giant, neon sign on your back that says, "Will work for praise." And the manipulators, the narcissists, the people testing your frame, they see that sign, and they know exactly what to do. They give you a little hit, just a taste. You're the only one who understands me. I don't know what I'd do without you. And you get high. You feel seen. You feel necessary. Your chest swells. Yes, it's working. I am good. And then they pull it away. They go cold. They criticize you. They compare you to someone else. And you crash. You go into withdrawal. You start shaking. You start panic texting. You start overgiving. You double down on the behavior that got you the first hit. I'll try harder. I'll be better. I'll do whatever you want. You are a junkie dancing for a dealer who is cutting the product with baking soda. This is why you are easy to control. A person who sources their validation internally, who knows they are valuable regardless of what anyone else thinks, cannot be manipulated by withdrawal. If you pull away from them, they just shrug. They don't need your supply. They have their own factory. But you are importing 100% of your self-worth. And that means the people around you can impose sanctions at any moment and starve you out. You think you are being empathetic. You think you are being attuned to others. No, you are hypervigilant because your supply depends on their mood. You are constantly scanning their face not because you care about how they feel, but because you need to know if you are safe. It is self-obsession disguised as selflessness. This is the hardest pill to swallow. The realization that your martyrdom is actually a form of manipulation. You are trying to force people to value you by making yourself indispensable. But it doesn't work. It never works. Because people do not value what is desperate. They value what is sovereign. As long as you are addicted to the good boy or good girl badge, you will never pass the test. You will always fold. You will always chase. You will always be the one waiting by the phone, hoping for a crumb of affection to prove that you exist. The only way out is to go cold turkey, to look at the silence, the disapproval, the criticism, and sit in the fire of it without trying to fix it, to let them think you're bad, to let them be disappointed, to let them misunderstand you, and to realize that you are still standing. You're holding your phone. You sent a text 3 hours ago. It wasn't just, hey. It was a question, or a plan, or a joke. It required a response. And you see them online. You see the little green dot. You see them watching your stories. But your chat remains empty. This is test number 1, the silence. It is the most common, low-effort way the universe checks your frame. It costs them nothing. It costs you your sanity. Watch what happens in your body. The tightness in the chest. The shallow breathing. The mental gymnastics begin. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe I said something wrong. Stop. You are projecting your own anxiety onto their behavior. The reality is simple. They saw it. They chose not to respond. And that choice is the test. The test is, how much does my attention matter to you? Will you chase me if I withdraw it? Will you punish yourself if I go quiet? If you double text? Fail. If you send a passive-aggressive guess you're busy? Fail. If you apologize for bothering them? Catastrophic failure. The only passing grade is indifference. You put the phone down. You go live your life. You assume they died or they're busy, and frankly, you don't care which. You do not reward silence with more attention. You mirror the investment. 0 in, 0 out. Now, let's look at test number 2, the flake. You have plans. Friday night. You turned down other invites. You got ready. You are mentally prepared. For PM, a text. Hey, so sorry. Something came up. Rain check. No new time proposed. No specific reason. Just a cancellation. This is a disrespect test. It is measuring your boundaries. It is checking to see if your time is a renewable resource that they can waste without consequence. Most people fail this immediately. They want to be cool. They want to be understanding. No worries. Whenever. You just told them, my time has no value. You can book it and cancel it like a cheap hotel room. I have no cancellation policy. The next time they make plans with you, they will be 50% more likely to flake. Why? Because you taught them it's free. The passing grade? That's unfortunate. I was looking forward to it. Let me know when your schedule clears up. Notice the difference. You aren't angry. You aren't dramatic. But you aren't cool with it. You acknowledge the breach of contract. Unfortunate. You put the ball in their court. Let me know. And then you vanish. You do not chase. You make other plans instantly. If they want to see you, they must now earn their way back onto your calendar. Finally, test number 3, the disrespect, the backhanded compliment. You're wearing a new shirt. You feel good. They say, bold choice. I could never pull that off. You're talking about your new job. They say, must be nice to have so much free time now. You're excited about a project. They say, "It's cute that you're so into that." These are not compliments. These are frame checks. They are little needles designed to prick your balloon. They want to see if you deflate. They want to see if you get defensive. If you explain yourself? No, it's actually a really serious job. Fail. If you get hurt? Why would you say that? Fail. If you attack them back? Well, at least I have a job. Fail. Because now you look reactive. The test is, are you secure enough in your reality to let my stupidity slide off you? The passing grade is amused mastery. You treat them like a child who just said something silly. You don't get mad. You smirk. I know, right? It's intense. Yeah, the free time is amazing. It is cute, isn't it? You agree and amplify. You refuse to take the bait. You refuse to let their little barb penetrate your armor. By not reacting, you are saying, your opinion of me is irrelevant. I know who I am. Your attempt to lower my status only lowered yours. These three tests, silence, flaking, disrespect, happen every single day. In dating, in business, in friendship. And every time you pass one, every time you remain unbothered, unmoved, and solid, you gain a point of respect, not just from them, but from yourself. You prove to yourself that you are not a leaf in the wind. You are the tree, and the wind can blow all at once. You are sitting on the couch. It's a Tuesday night. You're relaxed. You're watching a movie. And then, out of nowhere, they drop a name. Oh, my ex used to love this movie. My friend Mark just bought a house in that neighborhood. Did you see that guy at the gym? He was huge. This is test number 4, the comparison triangulation. It feels innocent. It feels like conversation. But watch your blood pressure. Watch your stomach tighten. A little voice in your head whispers, am I enough? Does she miss him? Is he better than me? This is a specific, targeted missile aimed at your insecurity. They are introducing a third party, real or imagined, to see if you will compete, to see if you will dance for their validation, to see if you will become jealous, possessive, or insecure. If you ask, who is Mark? Fail. If you say, well, I could buy a house too if I wanted. Fail. If you get quiet and sulk. Fail. You just told them that your self-worth is relative. You just told them that you are constantly measuring yourself against other men, other people, other phantom competitors. You just handed them the remote control to your confidence. The person with frame does not compete. The person with frame assumes they are the prize. The passing grade? Total non-reaction. Cool. Nice for Mark. Yeah, that guy was huge. You don't fight the ghost. You don't acknowledge the competition. You stay in your reality where you are the only person who matters in this interaction. If they want to be with Mark, let them go find Mark. But right now, they are with you. And if you don't care, the test dissolves. Now, let's look at test number 5, the victimhood, the emotional dump. You walk in the door. You've had a long day. You want peace. But they are waiting. And they are heavy. I can't believe my boss said that to me today. I'm so stressed. My life is a mess. Why does this always happen to me? They unleash a torrent of negativity. They are drowning, and they are reaching for you. Watch what you do. You drop your bags. You rush to their side. You start fixing. It's okay, babe. Let me call him. Let me fix dinner. Let me solve your feelings. You think. You are being supportive. You think you are being a good partner. Wrong. You are being sucked into their vortex. This is a test of emotional contagion. Can they make their bad mood your bad mood? Can they use you as a trash can for their anxiety? If you spend the next 3 hours trying to cheer them up, you have failed. You have allowed their chaos to overwrite your peace. You have signaled that your internal state is dependent on their internal state. The passing grade? Compassionate detachment. You listen. You validate. That sounds incredibly frustrating. But you do not join them in the pit. You do not try to fix what cannot be fixed. You do not let their storms sink your ship. You ask, what are you going to do about it? You hand the responsibility back to them. You remain calm. You remain happy. You show them that your happiness is not a variable that changes based on their weather report. And finally, test number 6, the chaos, the manufactured crisis. Everything is fine. The bills are paid. The fridge is full. But suddenly, there is an emergency. We need to talk right now. I don't think this is working. I'm freaking out about the future. The urgency is artificial. The crisis is emotional, not logical. They are bored, or they feel unsafe. So they shake the cage. They want to see if the lion roars. They want to see if the captain of the ship panics when a wave hits. If you start yelling, fail. If you start crying, fail. If you beg, fail. You have proven that you are just as unstable as they are. You have proven that you cannot handle pressure. The passing grade? The lighthouse. The lighthouse does not move when the waves crash against it. It does not argue with the storm. It just stands there. It shines its light. I hear you are upset. Let's talk about this when you are calm. I'm not going to have this conversation right now. Relax. We'll figure it out. You slow everything down. You refuse to match their frenetic energy. You speak slower. You breathe deeper. You become the rock they can break themselves against until they realize they cannot move you. And when they realize they cannot move you, when they realize your frame is heavier than their chaos, they stop fighting. They relax. They feel safe. Because that is what the test was for all along. They didn't want you to panic. They wanted to know if you knew where you were going, so they could follow you. You were flying high. The weekend was perfect. The connection was electric. You felt seen. You felt heard. You felt wanted. You are walking on air. You think, finally, this is it. We turned a corner. And then Monday morning hits. And they are gone. Not literally. They are still there. But the warmth? Gone. The enthusiastic texts? Gone. The good morning that usually comes at 8 a.m.? It's 11:30 and your phone is a brick. This is test number 7, the withdrawal. This is the most painful test because it attacks your hope. It attacks the future you just started building in your head. Watch the crash. Sunday night you were a king. Monday morning you are a beggar. You start scrolling back through the texts. Did I say something weird? Did I come on too strong? Maybe they realize they don't like me. You are spinning. The silence is deafening. And because you are an addict to the dopamine they just gave you, you start scratching at the door. You send the checking in text. Hey, hope your day is going well. Translation, please acknowledge me. Just saw this and thought of you. Translation, please feed me. Fail. You just told them that your happiness is entirely dependent on their constant, uninterrupted flow of attention. You just told them that you have nothing else going on in your life that is more interesting than their silence. You demonstrated scarcity. You showed them that they are the only source of water in your desert. And when someone knows they are your only source of water, they own you. They can ration it. They can price gouge you. They can make you dance for a drop. The passing grade, the mirror. They pull back. You pull back. They get busy. You get busier. They go cold. You go into deep freeze. Not out of anger. Not to teach them a lesson. But because you have a life. You have a mission. You have a purpose that does not involve waiting for a text message. If they step back 10%, you step back 10%. You match their energy perfectly. You do not chase. You do not investigate. You simply redirect your focus to something that actually pays you back. Your work, your body, your friends. When they come back, and they always come back when they realize you aren't chasing. You are there, unbothered. You didn't even notice they were gone. Oh, hey. Yeah, crazy week. What's up? That is power. That is frame. Now, let's flip the coin. You are used to the struggle. You are used to the chase. But suddenly, the dynamic shifts. They start pouring it on. You are the most amazing person I've ever met. I've never felt this way about anyone. You are perfect. I don't deserve you. This is test number 8. The reward, the love bomb. And it is a trap. You think, finally, they see my value. They appreciate me. Your ego inflates. You start feeling 10 feet tall. You start believing the hype. And watch what happens next. You start trying to protect that image. You stop being real because you don't want to disappoint the perfect version of you they just created. You stop voicing your needs because perfect people don't complain. You stop setting boundaries because you want to keep hearing the applause. You have just been put on a pedestal, and the only place to go from a pedestal is down. This test is checking for hubris and compliance. They want to see if you are foolish enough to believe you are a god, or if you are grounded enough to know you are human. They want to see if they can buy your compliance with flattery. If you soak it up, fail. If you say, "Oh my God, you're amazing too," and start love-bombing back, fail. If you start acting arrogant and entitled, fail. Because the moment you accept the perfect label, you hand them the power to rip it away. The moment you need their praise to feel high, they can crash you with a single criticism. The passing grade? Skeptical humility. You don't reject the compliment. That's insecurity. You don't inhale it. That's arrogance. You deflect it with a smirk. I have my moments. Don't let it go to your head. I'm pretty average on Tuesdays. Let's see if you still think that in a month. You ground the electricity. You refuse to get high on their supply. You show them that your self-image is internal, not external. I know I'm good. I don't need you to tell me I'm a god for me to believe I'm a man. Do you see the pattern? The withdrawal tests your neediness. The reward tests your ego. Both are methods of control. Both are ways to see if your emotional state is a puppet that they can jerk around. Can they make you sad? Can they make you happy? Can they make you anxious? Can they make you proud? If the answer is yes, then you are not the main character in your own movie. You are the sidekick. You are the reactive element. And sidekicks do not get respect. They get used. They get managed. And eventually, they get written out of the script. You have to cut the strings. You have to reach a point where their silence doesn't starve you and their praise doesn't feed you. You have to eat at your own table. You want to blame them. You want to say they are toxic. You want to say they are narcissists. You want to say they are manipulative, broken, damaged people who don't know how to love. And maybe they are. Maybe they are the villain in your story. But here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody else is going to tell you. You hired them. You auditioned them. You cast them. And every single day, you renew their contract. You are not a victim of their tests. You are a volunteer. This is the mirror of betrayal. And it is the hardest thing you will ever look into. Because when you look into it, you don't see a monster abusing an innocent. You see a person abandoning themselves to buy affection. Let's slow down the tape. Let's look at the exact moment the betrayal happens. It happens when they make a joke at your expense in front of your friends. You feel the sting. You feel the heat rise in your cheeks. Your gut screams, "That wasn't funny. That was mean." But what do? You laugh. You force out a little, dry chuckle. You nod. You play along. You betray your own gut instinct to protect their feelings. You prioritize their comfort over your own dignity. It happens when they cancel on you for the third time. You feel the disrespect. You feel the anger bubbling up. You know you should say, This isn't working for me. But you don't. You say, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. You betray your own standards. You lie to them, and you lie to yourself. You tell them that your time is worthless, and then you go home and cry about how nobody respects your time. Do you see it yet? You are teaching them how to treat you. You are the author of the manual, How to Abuse Me. Every time you swallow your truth, you are adding a page. Every time you apologize for something you didn't do, you are highlighting a chapter. Every time you stay silent when you should speak, you are signing the forward. Please, you are saying, please walk all over me. I will not fight back. I will not leave. I will just stay here and try to love you enough to make you stop. But they won't stop. Why would they? If you had a car that worked perfectly every time you kicked it, why would you stop kicking it? If you had a vending machine that gave you free sodas every time you shook it, why would you pay? You have become a utility to them, a reliable, predictable source of supply that requires zero maintenance. And deep down, you know this. That heavy feeling in your chest, that constant, low-level anxiety, that isn't fear of them. That is the grief of you. It is your inner child screaming at you. It is the part of you that knows you deserve better, watching you hand over the keys to the castle to the first person who smiled at you. You are betraying yourself. And that is a sin far worse than anything they are doing to you, because they are just acting according to their nature. A scorpion stings. A snake bites. A tester tests. But you are acting against your nature. You are a sovereign being acting like a slave. You are a king acting like a court jester. And you hate them for it. You resent them. You get bitter. You have these imaginary arguments in the shower where you finally tell them off. You have these fantasies where they finally realize how amazing you are and beg for your forgiveness. But you never say it. You never do it. Because you are terrified of the one thing that might happen if you stand up. They might leave, and you would rather be disrespected than be alone. Read that again. You would rather be a doormat in a house full of people than a king in an empty castle. That is your weakness. That is the crack in your foundation. That is the exact spot where the universe is applying pressure. God, reality, is trying to show you that until you are willing to walk away, you have no power. Until you are willing to lose the relationship to save yourself, you have no leverage. You think you are being loyal. You think you are being committed. No, you are being complicit. You are an accomplice to your own destruction. You are holding the gun while they pull the trigger. And as long as you keep rewarding bad behavior with more loyalty, as long as you keep paying for disrespect with more kindness, you are trapped in a loop of your own making. The test will not end until you break the pattern. The test will not end until you look in the mirror and say, I am the problem, and I am the solution. You have to stop waiting for them to change. They are not going to change. The only variable in this equation that you control is you. You have to decide if the pain of staying is finally greater than the fear of leaving. Because right now, you are choosing a slow death by 1,000 cuts over the sharp, sudden pain of ripping the bandage off. And the universe has infinite patience. It will let you bleed out for a lifetime if you let it. You are standing at a funeral, but there is no body in the casket. There is only an idea. The idea is the version of you that needs to be liked. The version of you that apologizes for existing. The version of you that thinks if you just suffer enough, someone will finally love you. That version of you has to die today. Because you have two choices. And only two. Option A. You stay in the loop. You keep checking your phone every 3 minutes. You keep analyzing their texts like they are holy scripture. You keep swallowing the disrespect because you are terrified of the silence. You keep begging for scraps at a table where you should be the chef. And 5 years from now, You will be the exact same person, only more bitter, more exhausted, more hollow. You will be a husk of a human being, eaten alive by people who didn't even know they were eating you. Option B, you become the rock. You decide, right now, that your dignity is more important than your relationship status. You decide that your peace is more expensive than their approval. You decide that you would rather be alone and respected than surrounded and used. This is not a safe path. This is the terrifying path. Because the moment you stop dancing, the music stops. The moment you stop chasing, the room gets quiet. The moment you set a boundary, they will get angry. They will call you selfish. They will call you cold. They will say you've changed. Good. That means it's working. That means the frame has shifted. That means for the first time in your life, you are not reacting to their reality. You are forcing them to react to yours. So here are the new rules of engagement. The iron laws of the frame. Law number 1, the gift of absence. If they pull away, you do not lean in. You lean back. You remove your attention. You remove your validation. You do not punish them. You simply let them experience the consequences of their own choice, a world without you in it. If they want the gift of your presence, they must pay the price of respect. If they don't pay, they don't get the product. Period. Law number 2, the walkaway power. In any negotiation, in business, in love, in life, the person who is most willing to walk away holds 100% of the power. You have to be willing to lose them. You have to be willing to burn the bridge to keep yourself warm. If you are not willing to walk away, you are already negotiating the terms of your surrender. Next time they threaten to leave, I will miss you, but I accept your decision. Watch their face. Watch the shock. They expected you to beg. Instead, you open the door for them. And suddenly, they don't want to leave anymore. Law number 3, radical non-reaction. Stop explaining yourself. Stop defending yourself. Stop trying to be understood. The lion does not explain himself to the sheep. The king does not explain himself to the jester. Why are you being like this? I'm just being me. You're so difficult. I have standards. Short sentences. Eye contact. Silence. You let their chaos crash against your calm. You let their storm blow itself out. And when the dust settles, you are still standing there. Unmoved. Unbothered. This is the final test. The universe is going to check you one last time. The moment you decide to implement this, God is going to send you a pop quiz. Your ex will text you. Your boss will criticize you. Your friend will flake on you. It will happen tomorrow or next week, and the universe will lean in and whisper, "Are you sure? Are you sure you're this strong? Or are you just pretending?" And you will feel that old familiar pull, the pull to apologize, the pull to fix it, the pull to be the nice guy. Resist it. Let the silence hang in the air. Let the text go unanswered. Let the awkwardness exist. Sit in the fire of your own anxiety and do not move. Because on the other side of that fire is the only thing worth having in this life. Self-respect. You cannot buy it. You cannot beg for it. You cannot trick people into giving it to you. You have to take it. You have to look the world in the eye and say, "This is who I am. This is what I tolerate. And this is what I don't." And if they don't like it, let them leave. Let them all leave. Because the people who leave when you set boundaries are the ones who are benefiting from you having none. Let the trash take itself out. And watch who stays. Watch who respects the new you. Watch who looks at you with a new light in their eyes. Because people crave frame. They crave certainty. They are lost in a chaotic world, looking for someone who knows where they are going. Be that person. Be the lighthouse. Be the rock. Be the mountain. The test is over. Did you pass?